Close your eyes, feel the sound. Brindle speaks the world unwound. Guiding light, the path is found. Brindle's vision, hear the call. Messages rise, they break the wall. Hope in the echoes, hope for
All right, so this week for the reading, it's a shorter one. Well, kind of. Fewer cards, we'll put it that way. I pulled from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, and I'm not using Colette's words this week. I had my own translation. Unmarked trail. Time to get moving. There's a path that you've been following for far too long that is not serving you anymore. Manicured paths, beautifully trimmed trees, carefully planted foliage, all the pretty you've been trying to walk down. Meanwhile, there's an ache inside you that calls to a different route, one you've been avoiding because it would cause a little too much discomfort. Part of that discomfort is knowing that it would cause you to act in a way that is unfamiliar to those in your life, and you're not exactly certain that they'll stick around if you choose you. Old solutions to past problems no longer work. Things have changed around you a bit too much for that to still be true. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone as to why you're changing. It's not their journey that's altering, it's yours. Now, if you've already made the decision for change, be at peace with the decision. You made it for a deeper reason that may not have presented itself yet, and that's okay. It will eventually. Sometimes we just don't know why we make a decision that we do. We don't. It's just something that we know has to happen. And sometimes we just got to jump on that magic carpet. Next up, we got covenant. And this is talking about the sacred contract. Speaking to something that may have been offered to you recently that you weren't aligned with yet. Could be direct situations in the way. Could be that your mind isn't aligned with the idea yet. Or it could be that your spirit is still feeling a bit broken and afraid of the consequences of saying yes. How many people just lean to see? What does spirit show you in this instance? Is it showing you to stay put for the time being or asking you to move regardless of the situation? A sacred covenant, if you will. One that is higher than you and impacts more than just you. Now, this may be a bit confusing after the last message, but there are times in our lives that we make a decision that impacts everyone around us, whether seemingly good or bad. Remember that signing a contract is binding. So read the fine print. Don't be lazy. Don't shrug it off as unimportant. It matters and may impact you and others down the road if you don't understand what you're getting into. If it feels off, question it. Ask until they have given you all the answers you can think of. And if there's a push for you to sign without the knowledge, this is a huge red flag. No. If you don't understand what you're getting into and you feel a pause about it, there's a reason. You may not know what that reason is, but follow your gut before you sign any contracts. Heart home. Compassion. Many are feeling this call right now to come back to themselves after something has thrown them off their authentic and compassionate journeys of self perception. A lot of big words there, right? If this has happened, it's best to take a step back. Take time for you in the silence. You could, if you wanted, stay put and try to shake it off and move forward. But this could turn out poorly. Now, is that a guarantee? No, but it is a possibility. When we refuse to listen to the signals our heart and spirit are giving us, we can be opening up an opportunity for the universe to teach us a very harsh lesson about self care and self compassion. What if you could forget about the need to forgive someone? What if you knew that the belief in a story is what gives it all the power? And all you had to do was change that belief. Boy, does this one piss some people off to hear, especially when physical harm has been done. But it's truth. In the moment of now, it is just a story that's believed in, not something that can be altered, only the perception of it. So come home to you and the truth of love that lies inside. Interesting to be told that for in the grander scheme of things, that forgiveness isn't necessary. To be told that what happened, no longer matters, is hard for people to take, especially when they are in it every day in their mind. Or if it was on a, like it said, in a deeper level, on a deeper physical level, where you have that constant reminder. But the call to release that story and come home to the heart and compassion, it's there. It's not easy, not at all. The sunshine will always fall on your shoulders. The crossing, initiation. Imagine standing on one side of a river where it is clear and all seems well, but on the other side is where you need to go. There's a bridge that you can cross, but it goes directly into the mouth of a cave. Now, continuing the message presented in the unmarked path card, this is a moment that far too many avoid because they are afraid of what hides in the darkness of the cave in front of them, where truth hides. The demons of the past can roam without light moving them out. What happens when you bring light to the darkness? You can see what lurks in the shadows and decide in that moment if it was real or illusion. The illusions are easier to look beyond as you breathe a sigh of relief. But when there's truth in the darkness, it can become a little more frightening to observe and get beyond. But here's the reality of that moment. When you were observing, what you were observing is only shadows of what once was. Even if they are current or recent happenings, they are still what was and not what is. What was and not what is. It's the opportunity to decide who you are and who you will become as you realize and release what you've been carrying. You can begin again. You're only as stuck as you believe yourself to be. Drifter. Experiencing life as it comes. Oh God, pattern interrupt. Time to move. Time to step out of the patterns of routine that you've been aimlessly and pointlessly continuing. Much of what you do out of habit just happens. Ever try to change your morning routine on purpose and find that it didn't happen? Or how about this, Gem? Your usual routine gets interrupted and you feel completely thrown off. This card wants the latter of those to happen. To get thrown off the usual path of patterns that you've followed for far too long. It's a bit of lunacy if you think about it. Doing the same things, wondering why there isn't any change. You didn't interrupt the pattern. Now, have you ever gotten in your car and just driven? No real destination in mind, just seeking new adventure. What if your life were more like this? Without a real destination in mind and no real end point. It seems scary to suggest that, doesn't it? You can't go through life without a plan or budgeting or a budget dictating your every move. No, can't have that. That would be bad and lead down a path of self destruction. The drifter challenges that. You could be wasting time while others are trying to chase the finances that are paying the bills for the things they just had to have. You were not put here on earth to get caught in a hamster wheel. There's so much left for you to do and enjoy. Jump off the wheel and start to drift a little more. Logic will hold you more than you know. Wisdom will guide you more than you think. And more will come to you than you would normally give a second thought to. Hmm. Did I make you uneasy with that one? What do you mean? I have to be able to pay my bills. I have to do this. I have to. No, you really don't. It's a choice. May not be the right one. May not seem like the right one. But once you realize that moving forward in truth and your authenticity, with integrity, compassion for yourself as well as others, you'll find it's a lot less scary. It can be nerve-wracking, sure. And it wouldn't be the first time that somebody said to me, "You scare me to death." Whew. You know, there's a word that's been plaguing me a lot. If you've been watching my content outside of Rise, there's some changes and pivots that have been occurring. But there's a word that haunts me with a lot of things that are going on right now. That word is hypocrisy. And just how deep it goes without people realizing that they're in that act. I had made a post talking about data centers and AI and claiming that I do use AI quite frequently. I enjoy it. I know it's part of my everyday life. Guess what? It's part of yours too. And to claim, and this goes just beyond, so you can use this metaphor for whatever it applies to in your life. But when you make a strong emotional claim from passion about the wrongdoings of something, meanwhile you still use it, that is hypocrisy. By very definition. So when on a social media platform saying you hate AI and it's causing so much destruction, shouldn't be used on that platform. Do you mean to? No. You had no intention of being a hypocrite. But get called one, and there's a completely different emotion that's going to arise. I guarantee it. But to be brought to awareness that when we are very passionate about something that we're against, and we still stand in it, we are acting in hypocrisy. And it's not just about AI. It's not just about that. So take a deeper look. Follow your passions. I've said this before, just recently. Make sure that your passions are being directed where they need to go. Not at content creators because they riled you up and you want to prove them wrong. That's not going to bring us closer together. That's not going to help you move out of any type of hypocritical passion. It's just going to continue to feed the problem. So whatever incident or situation or event in your life that helped point a little bit of clarity to, I hope it helps you understand a little bit more, calms that ravaging tiger inside. Be angry at things going on. It's okay. Direct that anger appropriately so that the solutions can come forward that need to, and not make the situation worse. And for everything holy, please breathe. Now, I told you I was going to do mini readings tonight. And if I could bother my moderator to give me the list just one more time over in the chat while I'm explaining how it's different tonight. Now, I wanted to, after I finished the collective reading, I wanted to pull the final card. Well, more than one came out. I mean, it just started spewing cards, and I'm looking at it, and I hear this, there's your readings. So we're going to see how aligned, just how aligned Spirit is with what you need to hear. Because I already have them. So it's going to be an interesting connection tonight. Starting with Cindy. Cindy, your card is Holy Radiance. Interesting play on words if you think about that. It says, your gifts are worthy of notice, and there's room for both humility and pride in your creations. Realize that shrinking your abilities leads to self-erasure, and fitting in tends to be forgettable. Being truly humble is about owning your brilliance without needing to prove it. Don't dim your light under the illusion of modesty. It's time to stand in your fully unapologetic wholeness. Stop hiding who you are. Be yourself. You tell me you're working on it, and I know you are, because I've been working with you for quite some time now. Step into it. It's time. Then we have Michelle. This is interesting. Invisible orbits. Most things aren't about you, but your mind twists every glance, every silence, every shift in energy into a story where you are the main character. This self-focus distorts reality, making neutral moments feel like personal attacks or hidden praise. Step outside yourself. Not every storm is yours to claim. Not every whisper is about you. There is freedom in realizing the world moves with or without your narrative. I know in many ways and in many cases, this is an appropriate card slap apologies, not apologies. But it's calling out something that I've talked to you about in the past. Sometimes you still get a little bit caught up in, and that's okay. You're human. We all do. We all get caught up in, well, this is how I feel, and you should understand how I feel, and this is all about me and not about you, right? We all fall into that. We really do. But sometimes it ain't about us, and we tend to take it too personally. And I know you do too sometimes, but that's okay. Like I said, you're human, and you're working on it. So Sheila, the card that was predetermined, because I drew these before the show, so the cards know what you need to hear. Apparently, rest worthy. Running on empty isn't endurance; it's self-destruction. Consider rest as a requirement, not a reward. When you push past your limits and ignore the warning signs, your body makes the choice for you. So take a break and contemplate what you're working so diligently towards. Remember, the better you care for yourself, the farther you will be able to go. Now, it's interesting because we've been talking off and on today, and the topic of the conversation, I want her to put into this message. Sheila, I want you to hear this, and I want you to hear it on a deeper level, because there is so much internal work on proving that you are worthy that is literally just continuing to feed the problem. So once you stop feeding the problem, then you will start to relax a little bit more. You will start the independence a little more. You will set up the boundaries stronger because you will have the energy too. You will have not given all of that energy to someone else because they want you to be a certain way. You cannot live the expectation of someone else, just as someone else cannot live the expectations that you place on them. So rest up. Okay. Niche. This should be interesting. Hollow Journey. You're following the script, the one you were handed, the one you've seen work for others. But borrowed paths rarely lead to soul level fulfillment. If it feels empty, it probably is. Your truth, your voice, your way. That's what the world is waiting for. Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it's wrong. It shows that your unique spark is needed. I couldn't begin to guess. Well, I actually could, because I feel like it's pointing to something that's going on in your career right now that has tampered your voice a bit. Where you know something needs to be said, you know something needs to be addressed, but a little afraid to. I know the worst that could happen is that you lose the income, perceptionally. But if this isn't pointing directly at that, but something that's around that in another fashion, there is a little bit of a red light flashing in my head saying, please pay attention to what you are agreeing to. Otherwise, the results will be less than pleasant. Okay? And I will go ahead and do Stephanie. Bubble Kittens. Trigonometry. And she knows what this card is. She knows what it means. And I just heard a big sigh come out of her that rhymes with truck. Sometimes protecting your peace is the priority and avoidance gives you the space to heal. But when the time comes to grow, true evolution requires more than retreat. Consider challenges and triggers as opportunities to level up. Every confrontation is an invitation to respond in a new way, to meet your edge and expand. Triggers become the teacher, testing for intentional responses. This is how healing is embodied and transformation takes root. Everything you've already been working for, working towards. And like most people who face head on that open mouth cave that was talked about earlier, most people run from that cave screaming. Not you. Nope. You grab a torch and you are hitting all the corners, clearing them out, saying, "Get out of my life, get out, I'm done." But the tests are coming. Sorry. But that's true for anyone who goes through anything. That's a general message, by the way. Goes for everyone. When you face that dark night of the soul, you think that you've worked through something. Life and the universe is going to make sure that you mean it. But the bright side is that you have the opportunity each time that you go through something to go through it faster because of what you've learned. Think about a game that you sit and play over and over and over again, trying to get to the end part. Super Mario Brothers comes to mind because I used to play the same level over and over and over again, just trying to get to the end. And each time I would get to a point. Well, I figured out how to get there, but what I can't figure out how to get to next. So I'd start over again, and each time it got a little bit easier, and each time I did it faster. Same thing. So that's what I'm referring to. Bowser's Castle. All right, Karen. Heart Wide Open is for you. Oh, I'm sorry. I got distracted over in the chat real quick. You didn't say VeggieTales. No, it sounded like VeggieTales, and Bubble Kittens said that she wanted to go and watch VeggieTales. I don't know if there's a correlation since I'm unfamiliar with either. But okay. All right, back to Karen and Heart Wide Open. Let's see what your card says. Living life on the defensive with a tough exterior may seem wise after past wounds. However, a guarded heart serves only to foster separation. Pain is part of the human experience, and you can't avoid the truth of your feelings without also dismissing the connection you crave. Be open, and love will find you. It's a very direct message that sometimes humans, when they're afraid of being hurt, throw up the armor so thick that no one can get through and love you for you. So if there is that internal nudge of needing more companionship in your life, gonna have to take a risk and let the heart guide you and let the heart shine just a little bit, at least. Peek the trust out. And if it gets trampled again, congratulate yourself that you took a chance. which is hard for a lot of people to do. To say, okay, I tried, it didn't work. I can try again. Maybe not right now, but I can. And that's a message to remind you. And finally, Jonathan, you are unparalleled. There's no one like you. You weren't born to compete, you were born to be. Yet comparison carves deep, tricking you into. I apologize. The print on these is small and my glasses are old. All right. Comparison carves deep, tricking you into chasing a spotlight that isn't yours. Their curated version of reality was never meant to be your compass. Joy dims when your worth is measured in others' reflections. Drop the scoreboard and disengage from the illusion. What sets you apart is your magic. You were never meant to blend in. You have a very similar message to what Sheila was told. You cannot live according to others' expectations. You cannot live according to your belief in what others expect from you. You are more than that. And as soon as you step away from those limited belief systems of expectation, you might start to see some things that you didn't see before. And doors might start appearing that you didn't think ever would. So yes, like Deborah just said, authenticity is everything. Be you. Absolute you. And the final message that I have for tonight, before I close up, balance. Or, in this case, reversed. Imbalance may be causing stress. Prioritize self-care and inner harmony. Just in case you missed it at the beginning of the show, they wanted to remind you again in a different deck. Same messages. Because transformation. It can be, Deborah, if the card fits, deal it. A period of deep change is occurring. Release what no longer serves you to make space for growth. Release what no longer serves you to make space for growth. Let go of an old habit, belief, or situation that is holding you back. Embrace the new with open arms, which is tough to do if you're not balanced. Thanks, guys, for tuning in tonight on the new Brindle's Vision. That's my show tonight, guys. I love you all, and I'm so glad you all are still here, still rising with me and Rise Radio Networks. If you are interested in supporting, please go over to embersoflight.net. Let me throw up that QR code real quick for the newbies that are watching. You can go to this QR code, or the link is down in the description below. And if you're interested in supporting or becoming a member of Embers of Light, the membership is free, but the support is so welcome. And so much gratification to you for keeping this going, because we can't do it without you. Love you guys. Keep loving yourselves. Keep going. Keep growing. Keep glowing.